So this is going to be a reaction to possibly one of the worst Blox Fruits videos I've ever seen. And God, I'm hoping it's AI. They make some good points to this. It's titled, Why is Blox Fruits Still Popular? It should be dead by now. Again, they do make some good points in the video, but also, I don't know what they were smoking when they came up with the script. I hope you guys will see. So,
look at this gameplay. Seriously, just watch it for a second. You pick up a quest, you walk over to a group of identical looking NPCs, you press the exact same buttons, and you repeat that exact cycle for thousands of levels.
That's the gameplay loop, dude. It's excited for.
Feeder simulator. On top of that, the developer...
Just to say something real quick. Blox Fruits is a beta meter game. You should know that before coming into it. It's like a fundamental of this place, so like you shouldn't really be surprised when that's what happens.
Developers are notorious for going radio silent for months.
That is also fair. They don't share much about the updates. The updates take a while.
On end. The community constantly complains about game-breaking update droughts, and high-level PvP has devolved into a brainless, pay-to-win spam fest.
I'm sure he's gonna get into this later, and I'll get into this later. But yes, PvP is a bit different than it was originally in the earlier stage of this game, but it's not that for sure.
By every logical law of the internet and every modern standard of game design, this game should be completely, utterly cooked. It should have been dead by now. But instead, it sits at over 61 billion all-time visits, making it the second most popular game in the entire history of Roblox. It survived a catastrophic crash where it lost nearly its entire active player base, dropping down to just 61,000.
For the record, 61,000 players is still a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Just saying.
1,000 players, only to pull off a diabolical, impossible comeback in early 2026, skyrocketing back up to 1.4 million concurrent players.
For the record, 1.4 million is higher than Curacao, which is a country competing in the World Cup. So we've had more players in this game than an entire country's population.
How does a game with some of the most monotonous, mind-numbing grinding on the platform manipulate its audience so perfectly that they can't stop playing? Grab your snacks, chat, and lock in, because today we are diving deep into the chaotic history, the massive betrayals, and the genius psychological traps of Blox Fruits. Chapter 1, The Humble Beginning.
This actually didn't start out that bad, other than that weird like grab your snacks, chat, lock in. Still looking good for the most part.
To understand how we got to this massive 58 billion visit, we have to go back to the summer of 2019. Two brothers known as...
This is when the game came out.
Community as MyGame43 and RP_Indra, operating under the studio name Gamer Robot Inc., decided to pivot away from their previous project, which was their first successful project, Elemental Battlegrounds. They launched a little game called Blox Fruits. Right out of the gate, they had a massive weapon in their arsenal, the One Piece theme. They also had a built...
Pretty sure they got copyrighted, but they had to change it. Me might explain that.
Community from their previous projects. The game was simple. You spawned in, punched some monkeys, saved up some belly to buy a cool devil fruit, but the early days weren't entirely smooth sailing. As the game blew up,
for the record, this right here is gonna come in later with one of those stupid things he says in the entire video.
Days weren't entirely smooth sailing. As the game blew up, a massive shadow loomed over it. Copyright.
Yeah.
To avoid getting completely wiped off the face of the platform by massive DMCA takedowns from
pretty sure they had to change it.
Developers had to pull off a desperate platform-wide pivot.
They are also recently they're moving away from Blox Fruits. Even in if you guys haven't checked out the bulletin, even their art competition, they say you couldn't make things like that were based off of One Piece fruits. So it's nice they're pivoting away and even though they were originally from Blox Fruits, gained their own identity.
They renamed copyrighted terms, altered character designs, and rebranded the entire game to Blox Fruits. Little did they know, this rebranding was just the calm before a massive war on Roblox. Chapter 2, The Rise. Blox Fruits didn't just stumble into platform dominance. It had to survive a brutal battle of attrition against heavy hitters like Grand Peace Online and King Legacy.
Yeah,
and honestly,
for the record, this is probably one of the longest lasting popular games on the platform, which has maintained great numbers. That's mainly why I like playing it, because it will be there the next day and still have people to play with.
On paper, Blox Fruits should have lost. At that time, GPO had gorgeous custom particles, high fidelity graphics, and
Yeah, gorgeous. Sure, bro.
incredibly deep combat mechanics. But GPO made a fatal, arrogant error.
Again, those kind of just seems like Sans Awakened moves to me.
Paywall and balanced their rare fruit drops with absolute nightmare rates. Free-to-play users couldn't even get through the front door. Meanwhile, King Legacy had awesome visual models, but ran
Again,
like a
like
literal PowerPoint slide on anything cheaper than a NASA supercomputer. Flashy
It's
moves
kinda
that
just
instantly
like-
crashed mobile devices.
Yeah,
Blox
whatever.
Fruits saw those flaws and capitalized on them perfectly. They built their game specifically for the reality of Roblox's demographic: kids on iPads and budget Android phones. It was 100% free to play and
It still is. There's no pay required.
visually simplified so it could run flawlessly on low-end hardware. They built a self-sustaining hype machine by
Well, except for the private servers, but whatever.
backing top YouTubers with custom perks and codes.
One of my most hated things, as I could never get any of those titles.
They implemented a strict bounty cap, giving high-level players a reason to PvP that wasn't just mindless griefing. The competition was left in the dust. The king had taken the throne.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has
Sorry
a
for
brand
the
new
ads,
way
guys.
for you to earn digital gifts.
Chapter 3. The Dopamine Formula.
Let's
This is a big part of why Blox Fruits is still popular, and he does make a good point here.
pause the history lesson for a second because we need to address the elephant in the room. Why is beating up bandits fun? The answer is, it's not. The developers didn't build a fighting game. They built a psychological casino.
This is he does make a really good point here, as this is
Gamer
the
Robot
main way to
Inc.
get
mastered
fruits.
a too deep to quit progression hook. They implemented the Blox Fruits Gacha, a natural gold sink where the cost scales dynamically based on your level. You are
The gold isn't even
compelled to
the
spend your
it's
hard-earned
belly first
daily
off,
for
but
a
like it isn't even that
slot
expensive
machine
once you
full
get
of
like
mythical
farm
rarity
CBs. Especially once it starts getting expensive, you have really good ways of getting money. And the funny thing is, he has a maximal account that plays this game, so that means he has played it for all the band and meeting. And as you guys will see later, he makes so many like mistakes. That's why I think the script is just totally AI.
To maximize players' fear of missing out, the global dealer stock resets synchronize across every single
dealer stock
server
isn't even that
every
good.
few hours globally.
It usually doesn't.
This
do
isn't
good. It had a
an
kid
accident.
a day or two ago.
It forces players to routinely log into the game.
He's also
just to check
bought
if
permanents,
fruits
which is
they
kind of
yearn for
hypocritical
is
of
up on
him
stock.
saying before it's
They
paid with
partitioned their
best,
world across
as
3 Cs,
he has done that
locking
himself.
the most
And Darkblade.
features like trading and V4 trial awakenings behind hundreds of hours of grinding.
First off, hundreds of hours is a massive exaggeration. I could probably get, well, I know all the speed text, but like I could probably get V4 if I was given a max level account in a day. 2 maybe. Hundreds of hours is a huge exaggeration. Like because V4 will not take you hundreds of hours.
By the time you reach the 3rd C, you aren't playing because it's fun. You've invested too much time to walk away now. Even after getting everything in the game,
This is what's called the sink cost. I think it's the sink cost. The sink cost fallacy. But it might be, but essentially it's I can't quit now. I've already put too much in, which is why some players keep playing, but also because this game is generally a fun game. If you give it a chance and find builds you like.
there is still the PvP aspect of the game, which basically means there is no end to the game.
The
There's
funny
still
thing
the
was that guy was
PvP
just
aspect of the
hacking.
game, which basically means there is no end to the game.
Chapter 4. The Downfall.
Yeah. If you guys remember I didn't start at the Dragon rework, I started at the Gravity rework, but it's kind of crazy that it took that long to come out with the Dragon rework. I do think it's worth it, seeing how it introduced a whole new race, 2 weapons, a weapon, a gun, upgrade to a fighting style, a whole reworked fruit, a new CMA, a bunch of new stuff. But I wish they could have gotten it done faster. If you guys haven't checked out Bolton, they might be adding 4 new fruits, which I do suggest you guys check out.
This brings us to the great contradiction. If the psychological loop is so perfect, how did the game almost completely die? Because once you
Again,
reach the
61,000 players is not nothing. That's a huge amount of people. That's like larger than an entire town. So like, I think it's been if you don't the perception of good games these days in Roblox have been warped from like if you don't have 100,000 players, you run a good game. Especially with like Grow Garden and Steel Brain Rot, that whole rise over the last year with them having millions of players each day, that has warped the perception of it.
top of the mountain, you get comfortable. And the community's adoration quickly soured into severe criticisms of developer laziness.
I honestly feel bad for the developers as they're working with a relatively smaller team, and they have to like not only make sure all the things work, as there are many glitches that can be. They have to make sure everything works against all the fruits, all the other moves with in different areas, and plus that has to cover the entirety of 3 different large maps, which is a big issue. So I think you guys got to give them a bit more patience. Even though it would be good if they could add some more content.
This update 24, the promised dragon update, became absolute legend in the community for all the wrong reasons. Players were promised a massive rework in late 2023. Instead, they were met with an agonizing delay that stretched for months upon months into 2024. For over a grueling year, players were stuck beating the exact same bandits with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting tired of this. For the record, there is other ways to level up. You can kill seaweeds, you can kill raid bosses, you can do fishing. There's many ways to level up, and you don't have to constantly be beating bandits as you level up as you go. It's just kind of tiring. That's his whole point.
Nothing new to do. Instead of dropping the content,
And the fact is, Blox Fruits is such an in-depth game. Even myself, who was near last level and collected a bunch of different stuff, there's still more stuff to do for me. Like, I've got titles to collect, I've got some items to do, I want to find an admin eventually. This guy is nowhere close to scratching the beginning of how in-depth this game can get to 100% it.
stayed silent, occasionally dropping vague teases that infuriated the player base. The subreddit was on.
Also, this is a modded game for the record, as that's not the visuals for that dragon. He has 600 mastery on dragon over here with that amount, and he's like level 1. Or he's not very high levels, so he probably wouldn't be able to get that.
Fire. Players were saying the developers broke their promises, leaving comments like lazy dev, delayed fruits, and claiming they were holding back updates on purpose. Frustrated by the agonizing delays, the repetitive loops, and the neglected player base, a massive YouTuber exodus occurred. Top content creators stopped making videos or migrated to competing titles entirely. The active player base.
I mean, it was definitely a dark history.
The game
Dark
crashed
period.
from its historic peaks all the way down to a measly 61,000 concurrent.
Again, measly? 61,000 players is a lot. That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. I think it's been our perception of like how much a lot has been warped. 61,000 is a lot.
Blox Fruits was officially bleeding out. If the update delays didn't alienate the community, the sheer unadulterated monetization did. During this dark era, Blox Fruits transitioned from a fun, mobile-friendly RPG into what many call an aggressive pay-to-win cash grab.
Chapter 5.
I'm pretty sure this is going to cover the winter update. But again, yeah, dude, you've bought the permanents, and again, there's nothing in this game you can't get free. Like there's really nothing that is not obtainable with spending there's nothing that's explicitly reserved to spending money. Everything can be traded, for the record. So if you want to get something, you can get eventually. Even though I myself do hate the trading system, and I can see why people are frustrated by it. But nothing is locked behind a paywall.
Let's look at the kitsune fruit. It is a mythical beast type fruit that
Hold up, I just want you guys to see this real quick. That's 300. Transformation at 300. Keep that in mind. Just keep it in mind for later on.
User the ability to manipulate blue fire and transform into a mythological fox. It is incredibly overpowered, and how much does it cost permanently from the Blox Fruit dealer? 8 million Billy or 4,000 Robux.
Yep.
That is literally 50 real-world US dollars for a single digital item.
Again,
And if you want to actually...
1, you don't have to buy it. 2, it's much easier to buy from the dealer or to trade for it. 3, you can trade for the permanent, which is actually not that expensive. And 4, it's like, I just don't understand, because you don't, there's many, again, my suggestion to anybody playing this game and feeling frustrated with PvP, you don't have to use a meta fruit. Find something you like to use. Again, I feel like Kitsune is very overused.
Unlock its full potential, the final skill requires a record-breaking 600...
Right there, 600 mastery. Guys. 600? 600? 600? It's not even the highest mastery. The funny thing, it's not even the highest mastery in the game. The highest is Death Step V, which is 400. I just find it so funny, and I think that's why I believe this script is totally AI.
Potential. The final skill requires a record-breaking 600 to unlock, making it the most agonizing, longest grind in the entire game.
Yeah, 600 mastery is
Fully
not fucking
awakening
grind.
abilities can cost tens of thousands of fragments and
First up, yeah, hold up.
millions of Beely.
Okay, so awakening abilities at max requires, I'm pretty sure, 18,000, which is the Quake Awakening. I could be wrong. I think Doe is worth costs a little bit more. For the record, it doesn't require belly. And if we're looking at actually how much it costs, assuming you do 4 raids, 4 to do the Awakening Quake, you only need 14,000, which is not too hard to get if you finish or do raid bosses or save up.
Wait, the betrayal gets worse. If you logged into a public server during this drought, you'd notice something terrifying. A massive portion of that remaining player count wasn't even human. The community estimated that...
Yeah, there is a pretty big bot problem. He does make a good point here. I wish they could update their anti-cheat, because it is real frustrating for these bots and cheaters to be infecting the game.
Nearly
So good
half
point.
the players were just scripters and exploiters. Massive automated bot farms ran scripts 24/7, teleporting around maps to auto-farm levels and port accounts to sell on eBay.
Yeah.
If you were a real human trying to play legitimately...
For the record, that happens in every popular game in Roblox, and every popular game that has ever existed. There will always be cheaters, and there's always hackers. I know it's a big issue in this game, and I wish they could do something about it, but, like, it's gonna happen no matter what. It's... If they update it, the cheaters will update. No matter what game you look at, there's always cheaters. This is what happens.
You were constantly harassed by toxic high-level exploiters using auto-aim scripts to ambush you, flex their $50 beast fruits, and ruin the combat meta. PvP completely...
For the record, Dragon isn't really all that meta. Even back then. Well, in the Dragon update, it pretty much was. But it's not really meta anymore, so you can't really... Even if you pay for the strongest fruit, only if you use a transform. Plus, a good player can actually take out probably a Dragon transform.
Lost its skill ceiling, pay-to-win barriers, a script-infested...
Again, there's no pay-to-win barriers. You can trade for everything. I don't get what this guy does. He plays the game. It's pretty sure this is AI.
A completely abandoned community. By all accounts, the game should have been dead.
Jeez, actually look...
Chapter 6, The Diabolical Comeback.
But here is the final mind-bending twist of this video essay. It is still the king. Despite the bots, despite the toxic meta, despite the $50 fruits, and the...
Again, even though I can make a whole video covering what's wrong with the current meta and all of that, even that, Dragon's not really meta anymore, and Kitsune's slowly falling on the meta as it's got nerfed and stuff. But, like, even if you buy Dragon, it still doesn't make up for the skill. You're still going to get You're still going to get belted by a good Ice user or a good Rumble user or a good Portal user because they actually practice the game and are good at the game.
Year-long delays, it refused to stay dead. In early 2026, Blox Fruits pulled off what is being called a diabolical comeback, surging from
By
the
you and your
ashes
AI
to hit
script.
1.4 million active players once again, and now averaging around 300k concurrent players. How is this even statistically possible?
It's not
Pivot
statistics.
levels
First
to
off, it's
Roblox
not
as a
statistics.
platform. In late 2025, Roblox experienced a massive boom, reaching 144 million daily active users. A rising tide lifts all ships, and Blox Fruits was a massive aircraft carrier ready to catch the wave. But it was
Aircraft carrier catching a wave, dude. Come on, you didn't even put an effort into this.
also because Gamer Robot Inc. finally woke up. They dropped massive reworks, like the highly anticipated Control
So the funny thing is, he's like focusing on the beast fruits like control will exist, which again I can make a whole video on what's wrong with the meta currently, but control's a big issue.
rework and mechanic shifts that completely transformed the endgame. Massive YouTubers like Kit Gaming and NU returned to the game, flooding the algorithm with fresh hype and dragging the community back from the dead. They transformed a standard RPG into a massive, highly speculative, player-driven trading market where permanent fruits are traded like literal stock options. They didn't just...
That's existed in every single popular game. If you played Grow Garden, as I played it for a bit, the pets were traded like traded like stocks, and I know Steel Brain Run has trading like that, plus other games all have these things.
Updated game. They revitalized an entire digital economy.
And if he's talking about why perps be traded, I don't know why he's so fixated on the paywall. Even though, yes, I do understand there is a issue with paywall, but there's nothing. My apologies.
Chapter 7, King of Anime Games.
I actually don't think it's the king of anime games. As I said, it's moving away. And if you're just focusing on like anime games, TSB and Jujutsu Shenanigans are probably more. They're actually anime centered, and they're just as popular.
When you look at the broader landscape of Roblox, there are over 44 million games on the platform. But if you narrow that down to its most fiercely competitive, hyperactive community, anime games, Blox Fruits doesn't just lead. It rules with an iron fist.
Again, it's trying to move away from One Piece, just saying.
Think about it. We've seen countless high-budget, beautifully animated anime projects drop over the years. Games based on Bleach, Naruto, and Jujutsu Kaisen have captured the community's hype for a month or two, only to see their
he doesn't
player
points
count
about that.
die out rapidly. Yet this One Piece-inspired behemoth keeps shattering records year after year. It survived massive copyright rebrands, outcompeted high-fidelity rivals by choosing mobile accessibility over hardware melting graphics.
Doesn't that contradict your previous statement of it having to not
and
move away
built
from
an
that?
in-game
But
trading economy so massive that it completely transcends the source material. It proved that to rule the anime genre on Roblox, you don't need the most realistic, high-skill combat systems. You just need to keep the gacha.
For the record, Blox Fruits combat system at really high levels gets really, really difficult. I get it, like games like all the battle games. Also, those you're mainly just who lands the first non-evasive one-shot combo. And there's some pretty high skill ceilings for that. I haven't played many battle games, but dash canceling, side dashing around, a bunch of different stuff. I know there's a bunch of tags in that. I played JJS for a bit. But Blox Fruits at the higher levels has really high skill ceilings. The ragdoll glitches, and also if you're going against a max level, probably third wheel player, they probably one shot combo they're gonna put you in, and you have to get out of it or else you just die.
Wheel spinning and the player base completely hooked.
That's another issue with the. I probably should make my issue with the meta, but that's a whole different issue.
Chapter 8, Closing Thoughts.
So what is the ultimate truth behind Blox Fruits? Is it a flawless masterpiece of a game? Absolutely not. It is a heavily flawed, insanely grind-heavy, pay-to-win.
And yet you've grinded to max level and pay to win.
Bandit beater that is constantly plagued by exploiters, bot farming, and agonizing developer delays. But it is also an absolute masterclass in their creation of optimized VFX and animation, mobile optimization, and gacha system. It is a game that by all metrics should have been dead by now. But the 0.1% chance of rolling that mythical...
Again, 60,000 players is not dead.
Fruit and players not wanting to waste their efforts after grinding for so long to the third sea. The king.
I see plenty of players quit after the third sea. Even they just get bored. You guys, if you guys don't like the game at the start, don't waste your time like this guy, because apparently he grinded all the way to max level and spent $50 on, well, actually even more on Dragon, Doe, Portal, Blade. He had a Light, I think.
Isn't giving up the throne anytime soon.
It also isn't the most popular game on the platform right now. I think that's Grow Garden 2 or Steel Braid Rot.
Personally, I really enjoyed the PvP aspects of the game.
Didn't you just say it was a mindless pay-to-win slop fest with no skill ceiling earlier in the video? Which is super hypocritical of you to then go criticizing it.
And the insane VFX the game has to offer. But hey, what do you guys think? Is Blox Fruits actually worth playing in 2026? Or are we all just trapped in a giant developer-run dopamine simulator? Let me know down in the comments, chat. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm errorblox. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
I think this is just so... I'm like 80% sure this is AI, and if this creator gets upset about that, then maybe you should learn to read. His literacy rates are less than the average JJK enjoyer. Calling back to that 600 master at Kitsune, you, in the video beforehand, shows it has 300 mastery max, and it says 600 mastery. That is just such a ridiculous thing to get wrong. It's embarrassing. He does make some good points in this video, showing how, yes, there is an issue with developer droughts, which, again, you guys really shouldn't criticize them for, as they have to... I don't develop, but I know they have to deal with a lot of things, especially with you guys, and the whole community criticizing them. I can get it. It might be frustrating. And PvP is a mess. I know. The meta right now is not great. And again, I'm not going to get that deep into it, but like, why would you use a skill fruit when you can just use any of the meta-dominant fruits and win the game? Again, he makes some good points here, but like, in the end, I'm like, because 100% sure this is AI. This is probably one of the worst video articles or video essays I've seen on this game. That is just so ridiculous, and all the errors it makes about the game. Especially with the fact that he's mostly a hypocrite in this situation, as he himself has grinded to max level and bought perms, and then is coming back to criticize the very things he has done himself. Again, no one's forcing you to do that, and there's nothing that's locked behind a paywall in this game, as you can trade everything. In the end, it's just silly. To end on this video, if you guys liked it, consider subscribing to me or liking. I'll put this guy's channel name in the description if he really wants it. If you guys really want to go look at him. But like, I don't know. It's sad. Pretty sure this is AI. Like, I mean, it probably AI checked the script, but like, who cares? In retrospect, I did make a poll for what I should do when I hit 200 subscribers. So consider checking that out on my channel page. Thank y'all for watching. Have a wonderful day.